Well, quite markedly, very much indeed. Since I've played him, I now know more about him, and I'd like to play him again. Having done the research and reading about him and knowing the background of his life, I found it very satisfying and interesting to play him. I feel I know more about him now. Watching his films again since I've finished making this one, my favourite films are Vertigo, Psycho, and Rear Window. Those are my three favourites, and I'd always loved those films, and so here we are. Yes, it was a pretty daunting experience because he is so well known and such a loved figure, because everyone find him so popular during the Hitchcock Hour Presents on television all those years when families all over America would stay in just to watch that. So it was a daunting, challenging experience, but I'm so glad I took it on, and I'm glad I took it with a new director, you know, a director who had never directed actors before. And my agent said, "How do you feel about that?" I said, "I think it's great." Sasha is so enthusiastic and passionate about it. I thought, what can I lose? Let's just go ahead. You know, like Hitchcock, you have to take risks. I mean, the risk that Hitchcock took was mortgaging his house and his whole livelihood, and it could have been a disaster for him, but he did it. And I think that when he took away, if you take away the safety net out of your life, life becomes more challenging and scary, but you can do better things. And I think that's what Hitchcock did. When you have no security, it drives you to do more. Well, the script had been around for 8 years. Alan Barnett and Tom Thayer were the two producers who brought it to my agent and to me. That was 8 years ago. Then one or two other directors were going to do it, but then I came back last year with Sasha Gervasi. The reason I did it was because of Sasha, because of his passion to do it. And Tom Pollock of the studio, he was such a passionate believer in it, and that's what it was. And the fact that Sasha gave me the freedom to be part of the production, like I was there for many of the film tests, James Darcy and Michael Wincott, Ed Gein. So I was there, I witnessed those auditions, and I was able to interview the makeup guy, Howard Berger, and Peter Montana, and Julie Weiss, the designer. So I felt very much a part of the production, although I'm not a producer, but I felt very much part of the birth of it all, the putting it together. Well, it was interesting because when I look at, Howard came to the office and we were all interviewing in the office, and there were two makeup artists, and they're both very good. And then along came Howard, and he was so enthusiastic about it. So he took a photograph of me in profile as I am, and I was this weight, and I wouldn't put on weight, so I did that. Good evening. They took a photograph of that and then designed the makeup around my own expression, and they had to be careful not to engulf my face in too much prosthetic. So the prosthetic started there and ended there on my chest. It's got rid of there. And they added earlobes and contact lenses because I got blue eyes and Hitchcock had brown eyes. Once I was in that, I'd sit in the morning looking in the mirror, and they'd start putting it together, and I'd look in the mirror and think, that's it, there's Hitchcock. And I could just begin to feel like him. And when I went on the set with a full suit, I said, "Good afternoon, everyone. Let's have a good day's filming." So it just became second nature to me.